Do you ever sense a silence that feels wrong? Not the gentle hush of night or the peaceful quiet after a storm, but a silence that presses in, heavy and unfamiliar. It's as if the world is holding its breath, waiting for a sound that never comes, a missing note in a familiar song. Not just quiet, but the absence of a sound that should exist. I live inside that other silence, the one you almost remember, the one that lingers at the edge of your memory. It's the hush that follows a question never asked, the stillness that settles when a door remains closed. In this space, time feels stretched, as if the world itself is pausing to listen for what's missing. It's the echo of a choice not made, a word not spoken. My world hums with the resonance of that single, unbroken continuity. Every step I take is shadowed by the possibility of another path, a faint vibration of what could have been. The silence here is not empty. It's filled with the weight of decisions left behind, and the soft reverberation of parallel lives. I wonder if you feel its opposite, the void where that note should be. This letter is a ghost, a whisper from a timeline pruned away. I reach out across the divide, hoping you can sense the presence of what's been lost, the gentle brush of a life unlived. Here the world is much the same, yet everything is fundamentally altered. I write from a place you can never reach, a country whose only border is a single moment in time. The streets look familiar, the sky holds the same clouds, but the air tastes different, charged with the energy of what never happened. Think of me as your echo, a reflection in water never disturbed. I possess a history you discarded, a past you traded for the one you now inhabit. My memories are shaped by the silence you left behind, and I carry them gently, like fragile glass. It's not better or worse, simply other. In this otherness, I think of you, the version of me who carries the wound. I wonder if you ever sense my presence, a gentle pressure in the quiet, a reminder that every choice echoes somewhere. My peace is built on the foundation of your regret, and I'm not entirely certain how to feel about that. Perhaps in the end, we are both haunted, one by the silence of what was lost, the other by the noise of what remains. In my study, the afternoon light falls across the worn arm of a leather chair, painting it with a gentle warmth that seems to slow time itself. The golden rays linger, catching in the creases and cracks, illuminating the dust that dances lazily in the air. It's the same chair, I imagine, that sits in your room, a familiar shape, a shared comfort, though perhaps the light that finds it there is different, colder, or more hesitant. But here, the light is softer, forgiving, as if it's learned to be gentle with the things it touches. It wraps the room in a quiet embrace, making even the silence feel safe. It knows no secrets, because the most damaging secret was never created. There is nothing hidden in the corners, no memory that recoils from the sun. The shadows are simple, not the long specters of what if. They stretch and shrink with the day, but never threaten to overtake the room. I sometimes sit and picture your world, colder, your gaze fixed on something lost, the light in your room never quite reaching the places that matter most. My silence is comfortable. Yours, I suspect, is suffocating. Here, quiet is a friend, a gentle pause between thoughts. But for you, it presses in, heavy and unyielding. The objects on my desk are testaments to a shared history. Each one holds a story, a memory that feels whole and unbroken, reminders of laughter and small, ordinary joys. I wonder what sits on your desk. Do they feel like relics, artifacts from a life you almost had? Do you touch them and feel the weight of absence, or the ache of possibility? My world isn't paradise, but its central pillar is intact. There is a steadiness here, a sense that things, though imperfect, are whole. Your foundation, I fear, was built with a missing piece. Every step you take must feel uncertain, as if the ground beneath you could shift at any moment. Everything you've constructed must feel precarious, as though it could tumble with the slightest tremor, and you're left always bracing for the worst. You live in constant low-grade vigilance, waiting for the collapse I'll never have to fear. And I wonder if the light ever changes in your room, will it finally bring you peace? Do you remember the feeling of a hand almost touching yours? I live where that gap was closed. The memory of that touch is a steady warmth for me, a physical anchor. For you, that space remained, a chasm, a void you've tried to fill or forget. I imagine you still feel it sometimes, the ghost of that almost touch. To live with the memory of warmth is one thing, to live with its withdrawal is another. The intimacy of a shared life is built from a million tiny moments. I am aware of them now, writing to you. I wonder if every new touch feels like a pale imitation, or perhaps you avoid it, preferring solitude to a forgery of what was meant to be singular. You carry not just the absence, but the memory of its potential presence. There's a path I walk some evenings, through a park where the trees are old and patient. The air is thick with memory, and the ground beneath my feet feels worn by the passage of countless stories, some forgotten, some still echoing in the hush of dusk. In my world, I do not walk it alone. There's always the sense of another presence, a companion whose steps match mine, whose silences fill the spaces between the words we do not say. The conversation flows easily, a single dialogue with many pauses. Sometimes the pauses say more than the words, and the quiet is a comfort, not a void. Every step is taken alongside another, a synchronized rhythm. Our shadows merge and separate, weaving together a tapestry of shared moments, each one a small act of trust. I try to imagine you on that same path, alone, the silence beside you an emptiness. The world feels colder when you walk it by yourself, and the trees seem to lean away, as if mourning what was lost. Do you rehearse the arguments you'd make, the apologies you'd offer, if you could turn back the clock? Does regret echo in your footsteps, or do you try to drown it out with the noise of everyday life? For you, the path is a circle, always leading back to the moment the roads diverged. No matter how far you walk, you return to that silent crossroads, haunted by the choice you made. Every choice is a death. You murdered the version of yourself who stayed. Each fork in the road is a quiet funeral for the life you might have lived, a silent farewell to the person you could have become. And yet, I am here, writing to you from the grave you dug for me. My voice lingers in the spaces you avoid, a memory you cannot quite bury. We are both the ghost and the living. I haunt your quiet moments, and you drift through my happiness like a shadow at the edge of sunlight. I am the ghost of the life you lost. You haunt the edges of my happiness. We are each other's unfinished story, a presence felt, but never fully seen. The decision you made was not grand, a small thing, a moment of fear. It was a single step, but it changed the direction of everything that followed. That is what makes it tragic. The ordinary nature of it, the way a life can turn on something so simple, so easily overlooked. You live in the occupied territory of your own life. Every day is a negotiation with the past, a struggle to reclaim ground you surrendered without knowing the cost. I live in the homeland, under a flag of peace you surrendered. Here, the air is lighter, and the future is not a burden, but a promise. Yet, even in this peace, your absence is a quiet ache, a reminder of the road we almost walked together. There are words that, once spoken, can never be taken back. But what of the words never spoken? I believe they are heavier. You must carry the weight of that unspoken word, the stay you swallowed. In my world, that word was spoken, quietly, with sincerity. That single syllable changed the course of a universe. The architecture of my happiness is built on that fragile sound. I imagine you replay that moment endlessly, a constant looping film. In this recurring dream, do you ever change the outcome? Regret is a cruel editor. It only shows you the mistake, magnified. The words we share here are lighter, not freighted with what was almost lost. Underneath it all, there is a fundamental security. You do not have that luxury. Every word you speak is measured against the silence of what you failed to say. On my mantelpiece, there is a photograph. Two people, younger versions of us, smiling. The image is the cornerstone of this house, a captured moment of pure possibility. You have no such photograph. Your mantelpiece holds other images, but the central space is empty. You remember the moment before the photograph could have been taken. But you have no proof it was real. Memory is a notoriously unreliable narrator. Without anchors, our past drifts away, becoming more dream than reality. That photograph anchors me. My happiness is not an illusion. You are adrift, with only your wounded memory to tell you what was lost. I wonder what you'd feel if you saw this photograph, a pang of recognition, or nothing at all. It's one thing to dream of a lost paradise, another to be sent a postcard from its shores. Tonight, it is raining. A gentle drumming on the window panes. From where I sit, I see the reflection of the room in the dark glass. The sound of the rain is a lullaby for a world at peace. I know it is raining where you are too, the same storm, the same sky. But the sound must be different for you. For me, the rain washes the world clean. For you, perhaps it only stirs up the mud, clouding your memory. In this house, the rain is a shared experience, a we sound. For you, the rain is an I sound, isolating you inside your own skull. The empty space beside you becomes more pronounced. It is the same water, but it tells two different stories. Mine is shelter and togetherness. Yours, exposure and isolation. The future, for me, unfolds with a certain logical grace. It extends from a solid, unbroken present. I can look ahead and see a familiar figure walking with me. My story has a coherent arc, past, present, and future connected by a strong thread. Your future must look different, a treacherous landscape, a minefield of your own making. The thread connecting your past to your future was severed. You are living in a sequel with no connection to the first book. To live without a clear narrative is to be unmoored. We need to believe our lives make sense. My days are quiet, ordered, meaningful in their context. The same actions performed by you would be hollow gestures. A cup of tea for one is necessity. For two, a ritual. My life is a series of rituals. Yours, I fear, is a series of necessities. So, here we are. Two versions of the same man, separated by a single, cowardly moment. I am the man you were supposed to be. You are the cautionary tale. I have the memory. You have the regret. My existence is predicated on your mistake. We are two sides of the same coin, forever linked, forever separate. I feel your absence as a phantom limb, a dull ache in a life that is whole. I am complete, yet haunted by your incompleteness. As I seal this letter, a question occurs to me. In your world of loss and regret, have you learned something I, in my comfortable light, will never know? I leave you with that question, a final parting gift, or perhaps a curse.